presenting a well-polished game that shines brightly. Welcome to Columns for the Sega Genesis. Columns was released on the Sega Genesis in 1990, but it was actually developed a year earlier, in 1989, by a Hewlett-Packard engineer by the name of Jay Geertsen. Geertsen. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong. Jay originally sold or made versions of Columns for the Atari ST, DOS, Windows 3 systems, and eventually the Macintosh, before he sold the rights to Sega in 1990. Once Sega had the rights, they put it out first in the arcade, then on the Genesis, and also as the first ever pack-in game for the debuting Game Gear in 1990. Columns has since appeared in all kinds of different collections, solo versions, just about everywhere you can think of. It appeared twice on the Genesis in the Sega Genesis 6-pack in 1995, part of one of 6 games, including such other luminary hits as The Revenge of Shinobi, Golden Axe, and Streets of Rage. Good company there. It was, as I mentioned, ported to numerous computers. There were 2 sequels to Columns on the Genesis, and it is also currently available on Steam right now for only $1. So you can actually buy this game and not have to spend 2 months' salary. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the matching, and we'll see if I can make the cut. Sega. Okay, so I'm going to start off with arcade, but in the menu there is a different option for another version of Columns, and I'll be showing that off too. As you can see, our choices are rotate. Yeah, I get used to it, Mab. That's what I do. Interesting way to play it there. I'm just going to start off on easy because I'm not a glutton for punishment. Hence will be given until level 3. So, a little bit of the background of this. It's a matter of debate whether Columns could be considered the first Match 3 game. Usually the term Match 3 is best applied to games like Candy Crush and, before that, Bejeweled. Though this game certainly has plenty of jewels to be. Yeah, masterful use of the sound chip, definitely. And proof that I have no idea what I'm doing. There was an article online, and I wish I could remember off the top of my head where I read it, but it talks about the history of Match 3 games, and it mentions Columns, but it also compares Columns as a hybrid of 2 games. The first, of course, being Tetris. Makes sense that Sega would want their version of Tetris, especially to compete with Tetris on the Game Boy, hence why they packaged it in initially with the Game Gear. And a game from the early 90s called Chain Shot. The idea behind Chain Shot was to match colors of jewels, basically by moving jewels around to clear the playing field. There we go. You'll pardon me if I go quiet occasionally here, just to try to figure out what I'm doing. Chain Shot actually did eventually make it to home PCs. Shit. It is dangerous to stop and look at my notes. Hold on a second. It eventually made it to PCs, and also, my bad, Chain Shot was 1985. In the early 90s, it made it to PC and Mac under the name Same Game. So it's debatable whether you could consider Columns to be an early version of Match 3 or just tile matching. I suppose a case could be made for either. At some point, you just let the chaos go and hope you get lucky here. By the way, that's pretty much what most of Columns becomes. If you make enough matches, eventually you do get a magic jewel that whatever color it strikes, it will destroy all gems of that color. Keep in mind I'm only level 2 and this thing is starting to speed up. It's very quickly getting to Sonic levels of trouble for me where I can't keep up with things because they're going so quickly. Oh, that was nice. And I assure you it was a total accident. And anything I do here after a certain level, complete and total serendipity. Shit. And as you can see, you got a little bit of leeway when it comes to placing things before they become solidified, but not much. And panic mode very quickly sets in. Yeah, Columns, yeah, like you said, it's not a game you play for an extended amount of time, but I do have a memory of this game. A former friend, unfortunately someone I am no longer associating with, once watched me play a game of Columns that went on for over an hour. And I was basically in a state of zen. After a while, I had no idea what was happening because things were going so fast and I was just acting on instinct. But it was amazing to her just how much I was able to actually keep going with things. And it's a feat I've never been able to duplicate. And that was luck. Yeah, it's one of those times when I wished I'd had a game recorder of some type. But it was just a spur-of-the-moment thing. It's like, hey, let's play a game together, and, you know, neither of us expected that would be the result. Okay, now things are easing up just a little bit, but not much. Now, luckily, that wasn't the end of the road for me there. It very well could have been. Oh, yeah, it was amazing. She just kind of... She's not even like a big video game fan, but she just kind of watched in amazement at what was going on, you know? Could have been better shit. Yeah, I think we're getting to the end game here. Yep, there we are. Woo, okay. Rank 1, yay. Like. So a couple of things now that I can actually take a breather and look at my notes and watch the pretty gems fall. There were a couple of notable clones of this game. One was Yahoo Towers, and there was also an NES illegal clone that spawned a couple of other clones from it, where the jewels could actually be rotated, which I presume means horizontally. Which would be a big help, quite frankly. And I'm guessing they could be separated, but I can't verify that. The background on this game is a bit interesting, too. It claims to be taking place in ancient Phoenicia, which was a Greek name for the area populated by the Canaanites, as they self-identified themselves. And it claimed the Columns was a Middle Eastern merchant's game, and that by arranging jewels, quote, you shall perform miracles, unquote. One other thing, too, there are 3 different pieces of music in this game, and I'll show you them here. When I play Flash Columns. How to play with the jewels. I was told I was go blind during that. Yeah, exactly. There are 3 different background musics. Clotho, I think, is the one we just heard. Lathesis and Atropos. These names are from the Moirai, I believe is how it's pronounced, from Greek mythology. What we in the English translation call the Fates. Clotho was the spinner of the thread of life. Lathesis was the measurer who measured out the thread to determine exactly how long someone's life would be. And Atropos was the cutter who determined how they were going to die. So go ahead and do this height 2 on Lathesis so you can see what that's like. And here we're competing for time. The composer, by the way, was Yukihiko Uwabo. I'm not 100% certain what else he was responsible for. Oh, damn it, I thought I was going to get it. Well, shows you what I know. And I just blocked myself out of a good... and I did it again. Yeah, never trust me to appraise your jewelry collection if this is any indication of my aptitude. And there we go. 48 seconds, woohoo. And hey, Scorn, tag in. Barely any time to hear the beautiful music. So let's go for a height of 3, and Atropos. So I'm guessing it's either going to be the, yeah, it's going to be the yellow. Yeah, you can see it's largely setting you up for what you need to do, as long as you don't screw it up like I am. But then again, if I knew what I was doing, that would destroy the whole point of everybody being here, wouldn't it? Oh, that was dumb. One of these days, I am going to look into, what is it, RetroArch. Because it can do Genesis games, and it does have Rewind on it. Didn't mean to do that. Hellfire and brimstone, Rick. And that will make sense to nobody later on when this video goes up, because they won't see the chat. Because I still don't know how to fix it. You know, you can give me a bunch of yellows anytime you want. Or just one yellow, that's really all I need. It's nice that I can feign competency. And let's make it really hard on me. Let's go, you know what, let's go to amateur in 4 lines. Why the hell not? This ought to be interesting. And yes, Clotho was the original music. Great success was had, yes. I'm glad you all are forgiving me for not being able to look at the chat much, because the speed at which this thing hits, I mean, I often had the same problem with columns that I had with Sonic. I think I mentioned this earlier, did I? Well, in case I didn't. That as soon as things started going a certain speed, I lost the ability to keep track of it. I am doing myself absolutely no favors here. Not a one. Yeah, this is... Oh boy. Okay. Well, we might have fixed things. Yes, we did. There we go. Very nice. Very good. Well, thank you for saying so. I was tempted to put my actual initials in there, but... Ooh, lasers, lasers. Not a cat. Also not Lynn. Like. Yes. Yes, great success was had all around. And given that I actually performed fairly well, I think I'm going to quit while I'm slightly ahead of the curve. So, you know, always remember, play with your jewels, but only on the Genesis. And if you ever have trouble with this game, just take a step back and look at every facet. Take care, everyone. Until we game again. This episode's crystal clear goal was made possible by Mike Panza, Viceroy Scorn, Rick in Baltimore, Tristan R. Dunn, D. Iote, Jumpy Cat, the post-production contributions of Matthew Carr Anderson, and all my rare gem Lycanthro fans. Thank you very much for your continued support. Until we game again.